In today's video, I'm going to share with you the profit and loss statement from my fifth year in business. This was a big year for me. It was the year that I transitioned from a part time to a full time florist. I'll explain what was going on in my business that year, how I made money, and what I spent money on, which for me this year was big, maybe the biggest purchase we've ever made as a business. I'm Ellen Frost. I'm the owner of Local Color Flowers, and I've been a florist for over 15 years. I write a weekly newsletter all about flowers, which you should definitely check out because it's really fun. And I'm building a community of flower nerds online. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, 2012 was my fifth year in business. This was another big year of growth and change for me. I finally quit my full time job and went full time as a florist. My husband still had a job, so we were basically living off his salary as we continue to grow the business. So while it felt like a big leap to quit my job, I feel like we had a big safety net. We had saved a lot of money. We don't have kids. We had been working for, 20 something years. We had saved a lot of money and my husband was still working. So I felt confident after working part-time for 4 or 5 years that I could go full-time. So, looking at my year five income, which was in 2012, I could see that working full time on the business really helped me bring in a lot more income. So, my wedding income for this year was $138,000. That's almost three times the income that we had in year three. So, spending more time on the business definitely helped me get more income. And by year five, I was exploring all kinds of revenue streams for my business. So, holiday floral arranging was really taking off. It was bringing in 1,800 that year. Party and other special events, this was really taking off. So, $22,000 we brought in for party and special events. And I was just dipping my toe in single orders, which was doing well and brought in $2,100. And for the first time, I was really able to do corporate events because corporate events are happening during the week for the most part. And while I was working my full time job, I was not really able to take corporate events. So this was the first year I was able to take corporate events, and that brought in $900. And so my total income for this year was $164,800, which was great for year five. Especially having been part time before that. So, if you're interested, I would just wanted to say these are only a few of the revenue streams I explored during this time. If you want a full list of revenue streams that florists use to make money, you can check out the link in the notes where it says 9 revenue streams for florists revealed. That's a free webinar all about revenue streams for florists, how hard they are, how profitable they are. It'll tell you all about the revenue streams that I've tried over the years. So, with increased work, obviously comes increased costs. So, my cost of goods sold were way up. First, my day labor costs were $18,800. I had at this point hired several part time people because I was afraid that with all of these weddings, I really needed a lot of help and a lot of backup just in case. My transportation costs were up because we were delivering many more weddings. And so that was $3,200. And my material costs, especially my flower costs, were way up. My flower costs this year were $71,600. I also spent $2,000 on bases and $4,400 on other materials. So my total cost of goods sold was $100,000. It was 60% of my total income, which was way too high. I knew it was too high. Uh, and really, it was the flower costs that were the highest issue. And the explanations at this point, while I was still overbuying a little bit, I had found some ways to sell my leftovers, either through pop-ups or single orders. So that was not the biggest issue. The real issue at this point was that I was not charging enough. My prices were in line with the market, but because my flower costs were higher using locally sourced flowers, I just really was not charging enough. So looking over, my income was 164,800. My cost of goods sold was 100,000, and my gross profit, so that's what was left over to spend on all of my other expenses, was $64,800. So in year 2012, my expenses were higher than ever. And I had one big expense, which really changed the course of my business. This was the year that I bought a building that would be the forever home of my flower shop. Of course, I was really excited, but also really nervous and had to figure out how to make the purchase. So, after getting advice from some other entrepreneurs and from our realtor, my husband and I decided to buy the building personally rather than through the business. So we bought the building personally and then rented it back to the business. And we made this decision based on a couple things. One, we did not think that we could get a business loan. Maybe we could have, but we definitely could not have gotten it quick enough to buy the building when it became available. We really needed to move quickly, and a business loan would have required several studies, and the building was old. So I'm not sure that we could have gotten the loan at all, or certainly quick enough to get the building when it was available. So we decided to take out a second mortgage on a rental property that we owned. So this was a house that we had originally lived in. When we moved to our new house, we rented that house and we took a second mortgage on that rental property to buy the building. We then used the money that we had in the business, our income, to do the renovations. We rented the building back to the business at $1,200 a year. That was up from our old rent at $800. So the space, just we spent a lot of money on the space that year, making our total expenses $51,800. So income 164, cost of goods sold 100,000, our gross profit was 64,800. Our expenses were 51,800, and we had a net income or a profit of 13,000. And just as a note, I did not take any salary this year. While I had quit my full time job, I had saved a lot of money before I quit. And like I said, my husband was still working, so we were using his salary as our basic way of paying the bills. I knew that we were still in the growth phase of the business. I also knew that this new building was really going to expand the opportunities that we had and expand the ways that we could make money. So I felt good about the purchase. I just was really very excited about all that the business had coming. So my takeaways for year 5, and that means, year 5 when I transitioned to full time and when I bought the building. So the first thing is my takeaway was to think outside of the box to make your dreams happen. I knew that having a permanent space would change things positively for the business. I wasn't sure how to make that happen since financially the business was not in a place to buy the building, but we got creative. We took advice from people who were more experienced than us, and we really made a plan that worked. Another takeaway is that a great space opens up lots of opportunities. While it was fine working out of a studio, and I did that for several years, I knew that I could not have people come over. I couldn't do classes. I couldn't do parties. I couldn't do anything in the space. It was really just a space to work out of before. So, this new space really opened up all kinds of opportunities. The possibilities actually seemed endless. I was so excited to have a book club and just really build community in my space. My next takeaway was to try to envision all the possibilities down the road. This was really hard for me, and I really couldn't envision all of the things that the space would open up. Uh, I never pictured that we would do retail out of this space. I never pictured renting the space to other people, other entrepreneurs, other community members. So I really, if I had, I maybe would have thought differently about the space. I would have um, thought of those things sooner. But try to envision all of the possibilities down the road and be open to changing your plans. Because I didn't really think of retail, that just was never on my list of things to do. But the space, because it was centrally located, it was near a farmer's market, it really allowed me to take advantage of retail for the first time. And something that I had never even pictured became Saturdays at LocoFlow, which became a signature part of my business. So I was just really flexible. I tried to be really flexible and open to changing a plan that I had originally put in place so that I could do other things. And I knew that the future for the business was really bright and really exciting based on having this new space. So if you liked this video, feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and look out for more videos like this one in the future.